Hello, everyone. Happy morning, happy afternoon, and happy evening. I say all of that because you must be watching this episode from various corners of the world. Welcome you all to this yet another episode of The Revolving Perspectives, powered by positivity and sponsored by continued efforts to bring in enlightenment. As you all are aware, we are conducting this series of videos on the occasion of International Women's Day, and the theme for this year, 2023, is DigitAll. So, we are talking about women, their involvement in technology advancement, digital innovation. Are they taking proactive part in all this? How are they looking at all this? And if there is any gap sensed, why it is so, and what should be the scenario for better tomorrow. I believe that since this theme has come up for this year, that means there is a gap for sure. It is our role and our duty to look at women around us in corporate world, in society, and understand whether they're lagging behind or they're picking up the pace. And if they're picking up the pace, are they facing any challenges? So since when we conducted our first interview, we talked about the challenges, and then we conducted two interviews with people from various domains who shared their perspectives towards it. And today we are here with a panel discussion. We have two guests with us. Neelu and Malti and myself have been going ahead with this kind of effort, and we have invited Mr. Jayant Ghosh, who is from technology domain and who also writes a lot about women empowerment, and Mr. GC, who is a business coach and has been having and working a lot in the domain of supply chain management. Supply chain management is largely considered as men dominated field. So I would like to understand his viewpoints as well as his experiences from his domain, as well as his experiences while working with women entrepreneurs. So from here, I will request Malti to take it forward. It's been rounds and rounds of discussions between me, Neelu, and Malti, uh, surfacing the questions that we had on our minds. So Malti, please take it forward from here.
Thank you, Vinda. First of all, I would like to welcome Jayant ji and GC on this panel today with us. Thank you for being here. In the context of this year's theme, digital, that is innovation and technology for gender equality. My first question around this topic is for you, GC. What are your perspectives from the point of view of supply chain management? You have been in this field for a very long time, and you have been also helping women entrepreneurs to come up to develop themselves. So what are your views? What's your perspective about this theme?
First of all, thank you that you asked me this question, okay? Because nothing other than this I would have prayed to God to be asked as a beginning here. Because in supply chain, I have one very famous thing which I always taught my subordinates, which I told everybody, and I'm still telling people around. Warehousing becomes a very important part, isn't it, into the supply chain? We can do everything and anything in warehousing. And if warehousing is not strong, your front end and back end both will fail. And to all my warehouse managers, to all my clients today of warehousing, I tell them, go back to your home, go to your kitchen, and look at it how it is being managed. And none other than the women are managing it, and they are managing it beautifully. Believe me, all principles of supply chain, bring anything for that matter, Kanban, just in time, or your low minimum order levels, reorder stock, anything that you call it. It's all being followed for ages into our homes. And what better can I say on this theme than this opening answer? Because in supply chain, the learning pillar is from our kitchens, which our women's are handling. It's just that, if I really bring it into a context of this particular question here, we will have to give enough opportunities, number one. And it's not about giving, it's also about accepting those opportunities. Means, let me go back to my age. When I was into colleges, I was a mechanical graduate, okay? And we used to have one or two girl into our classes. So that's how the the things were. And go to electronics and IT and all, and you have all the girls there. So that was the disparity that we have seen. And that's what we are seeing in the society today, but more improved version now. Much more ladies are joining these fields which were earlier male dominated, but they are doing wonderfully out here. Very recently, I saw Air Force taking on board ladies now as pilots. Navy is taking them, Army is taking them. Forget about the industries as such. So it's not that nobody can do it. From a supply chain perspective, I'll say people earlier used to say it's a 24 by 7 job. How will ladies manage it and all? I have seen the best supply chain managers in ladies. Believe me, some of my subordinates have done too good during my corporate days. And today, when I'm dealing with my clients, lady entrepreneurs and all, I'm seeing them handling day in, day out of anything and everything of the business. So that's my take. It's not only about providing chances as a society. Some onus also lies on grabbing those chances, fighting out for them, and then proving themselves out there, because any new beginning will have to be from proving it. Over to you, Malti. Thank you.
Thank you, GC. My next question is to Jayant ji. Jayant ji, you have been in the field of innovation and technology, and you've worked a lot around that field. So, what are your perspectives regarding this theme of the year?
So thank you for inviting me for this particular round of your discussions, and it is great to hear the listen to the questions. So when I look at from the technology perspective, and when I see how it is being used today, there is an adaptation to there's an eagerness to learn something new which is happening now. You may talk about generation wise also, so forget the new gens today. Millenniums are also ready to adopt because they understand that if you don't learn by choice or by force, you would be not relevant any longer. So there are multiple ways people are learning how to use these new technologies, and this theme what you are driving across this DigitAll is very exciting, because at the end of the day, if the community has to run, and like any other society, any you pick up anything, there has to be two wheels to run. Up till yesterday or up till now, we are only running on one wheel, that is the men-driven society. When this second part also joins that particular force, then of course, what we are seeing as a growth, what we are seeing as a new thoughts coming into innovation format, that could just explode up. That would be my take on this concept of digital, and it's a great initiative you're driving.
Thank you, Jayant ji.
Malti, here I want to say something. On the International Women's Day, Jayant had written a wonderful post regarding involvement of women and how it should be looked for future. So if he could share some of those points here, that will be a great addition. Jayant, if you could share.
So, for me, when I look at, women, or for per se, the women empowerment, it all boils down to your dining table. Because at the end of the day, you may be married, you're not married. If you're not married, possibly you're sitting in your family, in your society, in your friend circle, at the dinner table, or that particular table, we can call it a dinner table for per se, where you're discussing about everything. And that's the place where this thinking mindset has to change, because this group will be a mix of different types of people, different age groups, and different sexes. So when we have to look at across this type of thought process, or a change in thought process, it has to begin at home, begin at tables of the discussion, because we cannot overlook that there are two parts of the society. One is male and one is female. Those are the same males which will go and talk about biases, who are talking possibly pushing their daughter to get into a stream of, let's say, advertising or blah blah blah. And when they go back to office, then they talk about, no, I will not let a woman report to have a boss to me. So this dual personality cannot go over there. So it has to begin over there at home. Second, men has to become allies. If this change, women cannot drive it, because if the hindrance would be men itself, So if this change has to be brought in, so the men has to come into the picture to drive this force, the forcefully change possibly. And related to that, all those changes, there has to be different types of provisions which has an organization has to implement. So let's take per se, a no, a totally discrimination or any sort of a remark. It is no excuse policy should be there in organization. Flexibility to be given at the end, because across any society you go, men drives, women drives both the parts, working as well as the family. So if the shared responsibility comes into the picture, possibly then we can look at it. Okay, there is no flexibility to women, but we know it will never happen. So some flexibility to women to adapt to that particular new space of life, a career rather than a job. Third would be giving different types of support systems. So support system could be upskilling. Support system could be sponsored training programs. Support system could be bringing about or teaching or laying down the foundation to be the to take the C series. So those type of some sort of a inputs are required across, maybe from organization, maybe forcefully driven by the government, and those will bring about the change what we're looking at. I would share one joke over here. Lately I learned that if anybody on resume looking for a job puts email ID as Yahoo, Hotmail, AOL, okay, then by bias concept you get rejected, because you talked about that. Okay, the person is of old age, has not yet changed. So those small concepts we have to think to change. That would be my point to you, to your question.
Great. I agree completely with you.
Yeah, I agree completely as well, Jayant, because being in the HR domain for almost 9 years, I have known that some of these biases are very, though we call them as unconscious biases, they are so much, in depth built into our genes or DNAs, that to break them, it's very difficult. And but then, consciously, we are taking efforts as leaders, as people who talk about equality. We are taking efforts in order to overcome these, but then there is still a lot to be done on that perspective. GC, my question to you on the supply chain management is, how do you look at supply chain management from the perspective of DigitAll? How has it what was it earlier? How has it changed? And what is in future there for women, especially in the context of IWD, of course?
You are on mute, GC.
GC, you are on mute.
I'm extremely sorry. Forgot to unmute myself. Using Zoom for after a long time. See, technology can affect men as well. So it's not only women. Okay, so I was saying, going to the early ages of my career, when I started my career, actually, those were the days when, vehicle trackings were not available. So in the Naxalite areas or in remote areas, you need to find out where your cargo is, for which your assembly line is striving for tomorrow morning, or it will stop. And this logistics used to be a big part of it. And that's why there was so much of a hue and cry about supply chain, as to it is properly a male dominated thing, because no lady can, go out and venture on the highway in the nights and can look out for vehicles and all those things. Cut to technology in almost today, every transporter, every vehicle running on the highways is GPS enabled. So you can sit in your office and understand and see as to, where the vehicle is, where your cargo is, how you can track it, and all those things. There were days when you needed to run with documents, whole set of documents, bunch of documents from one pillar to the post in customs, or even in companies, factories, even for that matter. People used to bring the documents to one table, get a signature, go on to the other one, get one more signature, then the vehicle will get inside the gate. And the same thing for going out as well. Again, cut to technology, nothing, no papers needed. Even today, the customs of India does not need any papers. Okay, so that's the technology, and that's where the boon is for for ladies as such as well. because now it's manageable from your smartphones, from your laptops. If you are into network, if you are dedicated to work, obviously that 24 by 7 thing have not gone from supply chain because it's that sort of a domain. You can't help it. But if you are really dedicated towards it, it doesn't call you to be at one particular location. I've now seen companies where supply chains are managed work from home. So that's possible today. And that's only possible because technology have really come in a big way. I'll tell you about warehouses, and Jayant and me, we have been sort of means exchanging our views over LinkedIn. In warehousing, especially the way the technology is entering now, you don't need to actually be in the warehouse and run around from one rack to another to pick up your parcels. You are getting robotic pickup machines. You are getting all those robotic supports. You are getting all those IT supports to enable the warehouse run intelligently. So earlier, a lady managing a complete warehouse, a shock. Today, and Vinda will agree with me, we were consulting to a client in down south in Guntur, and you would be shocked to hear their entire warehouse and stores were lady driven.
Yes.
Not even one single male present there. And the company is 95% shareholder of Indian Railways signaling system. So it's not a small one. They have a tough task on hand. Identifying a right electronic component also is very critical for their operations, and 100% women driven. So that's possible. What I'm only trying to say is there have to be a zeal to let it happen, and then there have to be a sort of a, what do you say, a hunger to to grab that opportunity. If those two things combine together, and wherever they are combining, we are seeing wonders happening. Wherever one of them is missing, either the zeal to provide that opportunity or the hunger to grab it, then boss, we find those sort of scenarios which Jayant was talking. Those dual personalities which keep saying this way or that way. So that's how, Malti, in supply chain, things have really changed a lot and are changing at a very fast pace.
You have rightly mentioned, GC, that our systems are automated. Robotic automation is something which is coming up, and a lot of businesses are adopting that methodology. And this is making lives of not only men but also women very simple and easy. In the same context, I have this another question which is coming up to my mind, and that is there is a fear associated with people around robotic automation. People are a little skeptical about this, that in some point of time probably robots will be seen everywhere around and humans will no longer be there. So do you think such a thing will ever happen? And uh, how do we get rid of this kind of a fear which is there in our minds?
So, can I take this question to answer?
It's
Sure,
anyway
sure,
only
Jayant.
for you, sir.
So, good question. So, if you go back to ages, okay, when the first computer was invented, there was a sudden hype that lot many jobs will go away. But the fact is today that because of computer technology coming into the world, the number of jobs opened up, capitalism opened up, industrialization. Another example could be, there was a time when cows and buffaloes used to plow the farming line. Came tractor changed the time. It shortened the plowing time. Possibly there were some people who lost the job because they were manually driven. But at the end of the day, those people also went and understood that, okay, today if I buy a tractor, I can do the same job on a couple of farming lands and earn more than that. Coming to technology has always been evolving. Something new is coming up. RPA is not a fear. AI is the fear. RPA's objective is only to remove all those mundane tasks which doesn't require any creativity thinking. So one of the jobs, you being from HR, you will understand there's a team which is just filing employees creating file folders of the employee. It is a manual task. They're supposed to just check name, put it in the folder. There's no creative thinking coming over here that what I'm supposed to do. Same thing is why, something like if you talk about finance processes, again, it's a very manual activity which doesn't require any thinking over there. So whatever processes, what you will see today, RPA is taking over is those type of processes where there's no thinking. And depending upon the type of company, these people are now pulled across and put into a thinking job that do something creative. So the RPA will replace all those type of jobs, which is now if you are reluctant, if you are hesitant to change, if you have got accustomed that no, my job was very good, I was to match ABCD and put that thing, that was my job, okay, great, then possibly the society is not for you going forward. But if you have a slightest thing, a thought process around that was such I was wasting my education doing that particular job, then probably you will now look at that, okay, how can I do better and upskill or ask my employer to upskill me to do an extra. So the jobs will increase tremendously with RPA. There are different types of jobs will increase, different skill sets of jobs will increase. The fear which is now is AI. AI is taking over a lot many new roles which can robot can do. But the question comes across, which is everywhere today across the news, whatever you pick it up, all creative thinking has to be done by human being. You cannot create an AI to do those creative parts. And now the question comes across the old theory of Darwin's theory comes into the picture. You would be there if you belong to that particular skill set bucket. You have that particular knowledge to work, and you are eager to learn. If you don't fall on those buckets, then the Darwin's theory will follow that you will suddenly become irrelevant. And that is fact. That is, there's nobody is challenging that.
True, true. Taking this forward, I want to ask these two ladies. They both are coaches. Neelu is transformational coach and Malti is happiness coach, and she is willing and looking forward to help everybody with the emotional aspect, with the mental well-being and all that. Now, considering this scenario, my question to both of you is, for tomorrow, like for the future of work, we need to equip ourselves. Coming particular, now creativity, innovation does not have anything related to gender. It is everybody's attribute. I mean, men, women, everybody has creative approach. It all depends on how you develop it. How do you see women equipping themselves for this future? Because you're interacting with so many women. Neelu, I'll start with you and then come to Malti. What is your experience through your interactions with women?
Thank you for such a beautiful question, Vinda. Yes, so when I interact with women and when I listen their experience, they're really coming out of the shell. They want to take initiative and they are determined to come forward and be extrovert and need a support system for men as well. So they want to learn technology, want to grow as men are growing. The block which they find is because they have not been doing it since last so many years, it's difficult for them to get over it. And they need a support system where as said by Jayant and GC, maybe trainings, maybe some seminars for them, maybe, initiating some sort of skill set regarding technology, especially for women. So they are eager and keen to learn that, considering if society as in consider that they consider women can come at par with men and the technology can be created keeping in mind women also. So that is what I feel that yes, women are taking initiative. And I also personally believe that use of technology is, again, correlate with the economic development also. So according to World Bank, every 10% increase in technology will result to 1.38% GDP. So simply closing the gap between female and male user would tremendously benefited to economy also. And women are really ready to help and contribute towards the economic development also. So that is what I feel is going in the market currently.
Thank you. Thank you, Neelu. So
I
what?
will just, input one point over
Yes,
here
yes,
and,
Yeah, sure.
correct one word of what she said. Technology is designed keeping men and women both into place.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that goes to the extent that, okay, from the time, from the moment an individual is able to handle a phone, so technology has gone to that level that I can be accessible by a kid also. So their gender quality inequality is not happening. It is gender equal. Now the question only comes over there is that are you ready to use it?
Yes.
Okay. So for example, if you pick up today the big jargons today, like for example, we all know SAP, we know Oracle, we know Microsoft, Windows, PowerPoint you are using, possibly you're using Google or or Apple ecosystem. All these have been designed to used by both, by any type of age group, any type of sexes, everyone can use it. Are you ready to do it? Is the question.
Correct, correct.
Yes, correct. That is absolutely correct and mentioned by you, Mr. Jain, that readiness is very, very important. If you don't want to grow, nobody can support you. That is absolutely correct.
True. So taking this point forward, this question is to you, Malti. Do you see women around you in your corporate career so far, and now that you're interacting with so many coaches, mentees, do you see them taking a proactive step to equip themselves and to come forward with their own viewpoint perspective? How do you look at it?
Yeah, I have been working for a very long time, more than a little more than 20 plus years. And definitely there is a big improvement, a big change that has happened over these 2 decades. Um but then now there are two sections. Our society is divided into different sections. There is an urban section and there is a rural section. So while there is a lot of work which is happening on the urban side of it, in developing countries like India, in the rural section there are a lot of opportunities which need to be created. These smaller technology based jobs which are there, how to deliver these courses to these people, how to upskill them. This has to be driven more from the government perspective. That is because this initiative has to come from the central. Uh, Even if smaller businesses take these, it wouldn't have a larger impact on this. So, like GC said, that this is a transformation, from one level to the other level. That is something from 0 to 1. And if you have to really see this change from 0 to 1, then this has to come from somewhere, from the government side, so that women who do not get opportunities in the rural section, they can also come forward. Because now when we are talking about International Women's Day in the context of gender equality, every woman here is considered, not just the urban corporates but also the rural societies of India.
So here to add, there are some initiatives driven by Government of India today. One is that Beti Padhao. Then there are multiple skill set programs government is running across or driving it across the rural belt. The requirement now is somebody coming and driving it from the corporate side over there. So if some organizations, there are large organizations in India which can drive it. Only the requirement is that handshake between these two entities has to happen.
Right. Right. Very true. Very well said. So, coming towards the conclusion of the whole discussion, I would like to ask both of you, Jayant and GC, what is your one message, or what is the dire need that you would want to highlight as a part of this theme and International Women's Day? GC.
No, let Jayant complete. I'm waiting for him. The master first.
Okay.
No, you're the master. So, thank you, DC. So I would only say one thing. IWD per se is it cannot be only in one day to recognize the women's effort or what they've done. It is an everyday effort. Okay, and to bring that everyday effort, if there is a men in the society, that is only cause of a woman. So respect that gender and try to find out, how you can empower those little, women's coming across around your society, around your, possibly in your house, how you can empower them, how can you lay a path where they can be a successful person who can come and stand next to the men of the same dynamics. It is happening, but it is at a very limited scale. That scale needs to go up.
Thank you. Thank you, Jayanji, for throwing light on so many aspects of one point that we were discussing. It's definitely leading to the way forward. Thank you so much. GC, I'm coming to you now.
Okay, I was hearing a interview a couple of days, not even an interview, a speech in a seminar by one of the famous ecologists. And he was saying in India today, we are almost at number one in terms of the number of MSMEs registered every day across the world in countries. Okay. And he said, still we are not a developed country. Still we are not being looked at as the entrepreneurs of the world. And he said, the day will only happen when a father can give her daughter to an entrepreneur. That day the society will change. That day this theme of entrepreneurship will be there in the society. Something or the other same is there with this theme also. First of all, this day should not happen. The day will come when this day will not be celebrated, and that day we both are equal.
Correct.
Before that, at least even before that, I would say that there have to be a social change first. Before even we look at corporates, we look at governments, we look at how you and me are interacting, we look at why are we doing this panel discussion and all. Even before all this, there is a big thing that is yet to happen. And that big thing is, if I have a lady boss, I'm supposed to honor her the way I'm honoring any other boss for me. Now that change in the social mindset is still not there, and let's accept it. It's not there, and not only in India. I've seen many countries now. It's difficult. The ego part is difficult to understand, and it's not only with men. Huh? It's also with the women. They tend to still take undue advantage of becoming a boss. So it's both ways. I'm not saying only men are offended if they find a lady boss. A lady boss tried to go overboard if they find a male subordinates. This thinking change have to happen first. Forget about everything else. You and me and all of us can do these panel discussions for 50 long years. But till the time our mind neurons are not accepting it, the day is going to be celebrated like this, and we all are going to be here. The purpose here is I'm not demeaning anything, I'm not demotivating anything. What I'm only trying to say is keep all of us together. And when I'm saying all of us, at least for here, I'm not discriminating. It have to be the onus is on both the genders here. It's not only that one particular portion of the society can eliminate a particular bias. The onus lies on both. And let's accept that fact and move forward with that intention. It's not that, my guilt, my self guilt, or my self pity. Enough of that. Enough of that on terms of ladies now. I have seen ladies who are now growing up like anything. So, boss, come up from there. Till you ask, till you demand, nobody is going to come and gift it to you. And if you demand, nobody can stop you also. So, both ways. I hope Janji will agree with this.
Sure.
That's my take on
I
this.
agree.
Thank you for such an impactful message, GC. And this is not the first time you highlighted this point in this series. Even before this, we heard Mr. Akshay saying and underlining this point that until you demand, you will not get. So start demanding, start asking for it. Concluding the whole series. Yes, Neelu, you want to say something?
Yeah, so I was about to ask GC and Jen, when you have given such a powerful message, which I really love, that yeah, you should demand and you will get it. One powerful message for all the women listening this, as we are closing this series and we have made the series for Women's International Day. One powerful message for all the women who are listening this by both of you.
Use the power of no. Okay. And also define what is your boundaries and what is your ask?
Wonderful. Thank you, GC.
I'll go in exactly the opposite words. Be boundaryless. Nothing can stop you. Sky is the limit. And if you can accept what you are capable of, and if you can also know what you are incapable of, learn, fill those gaps. No boundaries after that. कहते हैं ना दुनिया को बोलो copy that. So that's how it is.
Wonderful. Inspirational message, both of you. Thank you so much.
Super, super.
Thank you.
So now concluding the series so meaningfully, I'm very happy, delighted to talk to both of you, to hear your impactful messages for men, women, for the society, for all of us. I think I would like to underline this point that women will have to take a step to equip themselves for the future, and pace of technology, none of us can stop or control or slow down. It's only and only up to us to gear up and to be with it if we really want to be something, somebody in the future.
True.
So thank you, both of you. Thank you, Neelu. Thank you, Malti, for running this wonderful series. We got to hear so many viewpoints here. And for our audience, if you like this video, please do press a like button, share it, subscribe our channel, and don't only share the video, share the viewpoint along with your viewpoint, and come up to this level where even you can join hands with us in this mission of equipping ourselves and generating awareness among men, women both, to have a wonderful, equal society, so that we don't feel a need of celebrating a special day as International Women's Day. Let it be every day, as we all say always. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
for
the
having me.
evolving perspective. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jayant.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.